But I never looked up to anyone because of their body. You know, I never admired anyone because they had the same hair color as me or the same style as me or, you know, whatever. So
or were the same weight as you?
Never, ever.
And when you were heavier, you were fine.
I was body positive then and I'm body positive now. But it's not my job to validate how people feel about their bodies.
Ooh.
I've made up my mind.
Hello and welcome back to our lovely garden of infinite fruit. For anyone who is new here, we are a community of co-creative beings who study the power of the human mind and the laws of the universe by reviewing works of some of the most potent spiritual teachers on the planet. And we share practical tools that anyone can use to experience a rich and abundant life. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our daily videos, because you never know which one of these might change your life. So for today's video, we're gonna do something a little bit different. I came across this amazing interview that Adele did with Oprah back in 2021. And there's a specific clip where Adele shares with Oprah the story and circumstances of how she lost weight. And as I'm listening to it, I realize that at first, she's not really answering the question. She sort of goes a little bit around the bush and she's talking about her marriage and anxiety and how she started to realize that her anxiety went away whenever she was exercising. And then it hit me. What she was really saying, but without using the actual words, Abraham might say something like this, that during her step one moment of contrast, in seeking a feeling of ease, she followed the path of least resistance and arrived at an outcome that not only brought relief from her anxiety, which, by the way, is a vibrational manifestation, in other words, a feeling. Remember how feeling is the most important thing. But as you'll hear, following her ease and bliss resulted in radical changes in her physical experience, in this case, her actual physical body. So I'm gonna play this clip and I want you to see if you can spot the moment where this clicks. Also, at one point while she's on what I would call a sort of a rampage of self-appreciation, she starts affirming something that blew my mind, and I want you to see if you can spot it, and then we'll come back and talk about it. So here it is.
Let's go to the question everybody wants to know.
Oh.
One of the questions certainly is this whole weight thing. Mm-hmm. And you lost 100 pounds in 2 years.
That, yeah.
Around that?
Around,
100 pounds in 2 years. And then you said it wasn't even really about the weight. So
No.
What was it about?
It was about my anxiety mainly. I had the most terrifying anxiety attacks after I left my marriage. They'd paralyzed me completely and made me so confused because I wouldn't be able to have any control over my body, but I knew that I was aware of it all happening. It was like I was still very much there while my whole body was just like on another planet, it felt like, you know. And I've always worked out a bit, you know, a couple of times a week for my back. Not very hard, but, you know, because I've had a bad back since I was a teenager. And I started to notice, how much I trusted my trainer and his, like, presence when I was feeling so lost, but also that I didn't have any anxiety when I was with him at the gym. So then I picked it up every day, and then I had nothing else to do. And I think it became my time. Me having a plan every day when I had no plans. I had no idea what each day was going to bring for me, but me knowing that, okay, at 9 a.m. I'm going to go to the gym. Okay, great. Well, that gives me some discipline. Okay, 1 p.m. I'm going to go for a hike. You know, having these sort of pins in my day helped me keep myself together.
So you weren't even starting out trying to lose weight?
No, not at all. I wasn't bothered about that at all. But in that process of having, you know, lost all of that weight, I definitely really contributed towards me getting my mind right, you know, and giving me them. Absolutely.
It sharpened everything.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Like, it gave me real purpose.
Interesting, because, you know, I've been through this a few times myself, and I remember the first time I dropped you know, a lot of weight. I think it was like 67 pounds. People were really upset and had stuff to say, and actually in many ways felt like I'd abandoned them or something.
Yeah.
And lots of people are talking about your weight and all in your business about it. And I want to know, what has the experience of losing this been like for you, and also people's reaction to it?
I'm not shocked or even fazed by it, because my body has been objectified my entire career. I'm either too big, I'm either too small, like, you know, I'm either hot or I'm either not, like, whatever. I never looked up to anyone because of their body. You know, I never admired anyone because they had the same hair color as me, or the same style as me, or, you know, whatever. So,
or the same weight as you?
Never, ever, ever.
And when you were heavier, you were fine?
I was body positive then, and I'm body positive now. But it's not my job to validate how people feel about their bodies.
Ooh.
And I feel bad that, you know, it's made anyone feel horrible about themselves. But that's not my job. And I can't, I'm trying to sort my own life out. You know, I can't add, I can't add another worry and another thing to try and nail. I can't, like, you know, and
I got that. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
And, you know, my weight might fluctuate now that I can't work out as much and I'm on set all day. You know, I'm eating, but I don't care if I put on weight. I don't care if I lose it again. Like, it's not about that. As long as, like, my muscle memory doesn't go for when I'm lifting my weights, which is like my favorite place to be.
Lifting weights?
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
What's the highest weight you can press now?
Well, at the moment my back's been bad, but last summer when I was at my peak of being able to, like, I feel like I could have been in the Olympics. I remember saying to my trainers all the time, I'm gonna get Olympic gold medal next. I was like, you know, we were getting to, like, on a deadlift, we were getting up to like 160, 170. Yeah. I love it. But it started out at 10 pounds. It started at 10 pounds when I first started lifting.
Wow.
Oh no, I'm an athlete. I'm actually an athlete. Like, I'm not even boasting. Even the proportions of my body, I should have been an athlete. If only at school hadn't discovered boys and someone had told me to go and do a bit more PE.
Wow. 160, wow.
Yeah, I love it. But I have to eat quite a lot of food to lift the weights I lift.
So you eat?
I eat. Oh,
what you want to eat?
I had Chinese last night.
Okay.
Yeah, we found the best McDonald's recently. It's piping hot every time. No, I do. I love it. I ain't got much of a sweet tooth, though.
Yeah, I don't either, yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather a sandwich.
Deadlifting 160, this girl.
Yeah.
She's an athlete.
I'm also a very good boxer. I've got a left hook that could kill you.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm a very good boxer.
I'd be scared. Another new song on the album is titled Hold On. The lyrics of this song are so brutally honest. It sounds like you were in the dark hours there. Yeah. I swear to God, you say, I am such a mess. The harder that I try, I regress. I am my own worst enemy. Right now, I truly hate being me. Every day feels like the road I'm on might just open up and swallow me whole. How do I feel so mighty small when I'm struggling to feel at all? Girl, you can write.
Oh, thank you.
You can write.
Thank you.
So what was going on there? What was happening? How did you keep the faith when you were at your lowest point? What were you holding on to? Okay.
My friends.
The question is, what were you holding on to?
My friends always would say, hold on, when I would feel like how I'm, you know, the lyrics in the verse. Mm-hmm. But it was just exhausting trying to like keep going with it. It's a process, you know, the process of a divorce, the process of, you know, being a single parent, the process of not seeing your child every single day wasn't really a plan that I had when I became a mum. The process of arriving for yourself every single day, turning up for yourself every single day, and still running a home, running a business. Like it's you know, so many people know what I'm talking about, and it can, you know, I feel like that as well. I juggle those things as well. And I felt like not doing it anymore. And also trying to like move forward, like, but like with intention, not just trying to get out of it for no reason. Made my feet hurt walking through all of that concrete. I never questioned whether I'd made a bad decision. I never ever did, which I'm very grateful for, that I never asked myself those questions. But it was just like, maybe it would have been better had I just kept my mouth shut, you know, and carried on. You know, just in terms of hurting two people that I love the most in the world, you know?
Wow. Okay. So many amazing things to unpack here, guys. This interview is a treasure trove of law of attraction, the power of how you feel about yourself, the path of least resistance, everything. I'm sure many of you picked up on it, but here it is as far as I see it. So, Adele's step one is leaving her husband, which of course brought about a great deal of contrast. Her anxiety, as a result of that, caused her to seek relief. Step two, which is asking for a better feeling, asking for a solution to what's going on inside your mind right now. By the way, did anyone else pick up when Adele said that she was not even in control of her body during this period, but mentally she was aware of what was happening, and it was like the separation was still happening even after it was done? You see, vibration can occur before and after a physical experience. These are important things to understand because the vibration is what is causing the suffering, not the physical experience itself. So, step three is when Adele realizes that she felt a sense of relief when she was at the gym. She enjoyed the company of her trainer. She looked forward to the time that she spent with him. She said it became like me time. Step four, she let go of the outcome. She said actually she wasn't even bothered about anything like weight loss, and she does say that it's not something she was ever too preoccupied with at all. So in this case, we can say she's being very general about it. It really doesn't matter. I find this particularly interesting because it's very easy to imagine how someone like Adele could become preoccupied with body image, and how going to the gym would and should introduce some sort of consideration or resistance. Maybe setting a goal for yourself, which at best would have introduced some deliberate effort, and at worst, it could introduce doubt or fear of failure. So in not caring about it at all, she let go of the oars, as Abraham would probably say, and she allowed herself to float downstream, simply following her ease. And of course, step five is just a continuation down the path, not necessarily toward ease, but of ease. Ease is the path itself, and it's not at the end of it. This is so important to be aware of, and I think that Adele has given us a perfect example of how the path of least resistance is really the key to alignment and abundance. The other important thing to note in this interview is when she says, "It's not my job to validate how anyone else feels about their body." Oh, mic drop. Right there, Adele is saying that her experience is entirely about her own personal connection to Source, and how she feels about herself is more important to her than how anyone else feels about her or about themselves. And doesn't Abraham say this all the time? That the best marriage vows would say that I promise not to hold you accountable for how I feel, and that I will only hold myself accountable for how I feel. And as long as we both do the same, we'll get along beautifully, because we won't be creating contrast out of thin air just by being focused on some false narrative that's happening outside of ourselves. So for those of you who are still here, here's a little bonus revelation. This isn't so much about the path of least resistance, but it was a totally unexpected demonstration of Adele's powerful sense of alignment and evidence of her deep connection to Source. Did you hear when Adele said, "I am an athlete"? What? Adele looked Oprah dead in the eye, and with no, not even a smile, not a smirk, not an ounce of sarcasm, she just said, "I'm an athlete. I'm actually an athlete. Yeah." I mean, has anyone ever seen even a picture of Adele working out? Like, seriously? Like, that is the last thing that we would associate with Adele. And yet, here she is with total conviction, proclaiming herself as an athlete. Why is this so important? I mean, she's saying that her favorite place is in the weight room. She doesn't even care about losing or gaining weight. It's about her fun and curiosity and following her bliss while she's watching her muscles accomplish the lifts and gaining more momentum and being able to go from lifting 10 pounds to 160 or 170. I mean, she's saying that her feeling and her identity, what she sees herself as, is of the most importance. And that she doesn't need us to validate. I mean, nobody in the world, maybe aside from her trainer, would confidently be able to validate Adele saying that she's an athlete. I've never seen a video of her running on a track. I've never seen her doing anything athletic at all. So there is no, what we would call evidence. There is nothing that we can point to, that we can see, smell, hear, taste, or touch that can validate what she is saying, what she's proclaiming to us. But that doesn't matter, because from a vibrational level, that's what she sees herself as. That's what she knows about herself. And actually, if you think about this some more, I know I said earlier that this isn't so much about the path of least resistance, but actually it really is. Because Adele said that what she likes about going to the gym is the sort of discipline that it requires, the routine, the focus. And as I thought about that some more, I'm like, oh, well, then of course, you're a musician, not just any musician. You are a world famous musician, singer. You play the guitar and probably some other instruments. So you've been around the practice and study of music your entire life. Of course you would be attracted to some level of discipline. Musicians are incredible. You have to be very disciplined, or maybe discipline isn't quite the right word, because it brings about this idea of forced effort. But there is a momentum that musicians have in their focus about a particular subject. So someone who picks up a guitar at 10 years old and loves it so much, and they continue to play and play and play and play and play, and every day they wake up and they play, and every evening before they go to bed they play the guitar. Are they disciplined, or is that an incredible amount of momentum? And actually, even though we're using words like momentum, it's also a path of ease, because it feels easy for them to give in to this craving to play the guitar or sing and practice every single day. So when Adele is saying to Oprah, "I'm an athlete," yeah, you actually are an athlete, because at the heart of it, you are exhibiting the same momentum that athletes have in the pursuit of their particular craft. So of course, yes, you are a musical athlete, and no, that is replicating itself in the physical sport, weightlifting, gym, exercise world. So of course, it makes perfect sense that she's an athlete. But this is how Source sees herself. This is how Adele is looking at herself through the eyes of Source. She's looking at herself the way Source sees her. Why this excites me so much is because this is related to what I believe is the name of God. And it's found in the Bible. It's where Moses is he's seeing the burning bush, and he asks, who is this? And the voice says, "I am that I am." And I believe that anything that we state after I am, I always say, no one is going to argue with you when you say, I am that I am. No one can argue. If you say, I'm poor, I'm not going to argue with you. I can't fight you on that. If you say to me that you are rich, I mean, maybe we can have a discussion about what rich means, but it would be an endless discussion because how you see yourself and how you define rich is up to you. I can't argue with you. One of my favorite, I think this might be an interview that I'll do next. It's an interview with Cher where she's telling a story of something her mother said to her. She said, you know, your singing career is fine and everything and you have lots of talent, but make sure you also find yourself a rich man to marry just in case, you know, and because in case it doesn't work out. And she looked at her mother and she said, Mom, I am a rich man. And I mean, she's not wrong. Cher is a rich man. If you think about the idea of what man is, mankind, of the species mankind, Cher is a rich one. So I just thought this, was so mind-blowing, and I'm so happy to be able to share this with you. I hope that this was enlightening. I hope you found this interesting. Thank you so much for watching, and please, if you think I missed out on anything in what she said, or you don't agree with or quite understand something I said, please let me know in the comments. This is a co-creative experience, and we are all here to share and learn from each other. And I know that there are some super powerful, tuned in, tapped in, turned on, source connected creators on this channel. I feel your presence, and I've seen evidence of some of you in the comments too. So let us know who you are and what your take is on this fantastic interview with Adele. Thanks again for watching, and remember to subscribe if you haven't already if you want more of these types of reviews. And if you have any suggestions for personalities or speakers that I should review, be sure to leave a suggestion as well. Alright, until the next video, stay blissfully incomplete and tuned in to infinite love and blessings.